And he went down to Joppa and he bought a ticket for Tarshish because, you see, Tarshish was a great resort city. And he thought to himself, I can go down there and lie on a beach and the Lord won't even know where I am. I can get away from it all. And that's been true all the way through the Bible. Adam and Eve thought they could get away from God and hide in the garden and hide behind the fig leaves that they sowed after they rebelled against God. But God came walking in the garden and said, Adam, where art thou? The Bible says you can make your bed in hell and you can't get away from God. There's nowhere for you to flee from God. And then the Bible says that he went down to Joppa, got into the ship, and went down into the bottom of the ship to go asleep. Sin always leads us down. Jonah went down. And when you sin and persist in sin, it's going to lead you down. Samson was one of God's servants. And God put up with his sins for 20 years. The patience, the love, and the grace of God toward Samson is one of the great stories of the Bible. But there came a time when God said, it's enough. And Samson was captured, and he was blinded. And Samson suffered the judgment of God because of his sins. Sin led Samson down. Sin led David down. David committed adultery. He committed murder. From that moment on, his family seemed to get away from him. Some of them revolted against him. And David carried this terrible guilt that you find poured out in the 51st Psalm and many of the other Psalms. Sin led down. And many of you tonight are down because of sin, and you're trying to flee from God. You know, we flee by travel. Listen to that airplane up there. There's a restlessness today. You go to the airports, they're jammed. Go to the bus stations, they're jammed. People going everywhere. Go out on the highways and you stop the average person, most of them would tell you they don't know where they're going. They just have to go. Everybody's going, everybody's moving. No one seems to have any roots any longer. We're trying to get away from something and we don't know what it is. And many are trying to flee from reality, flee from their home situation or their business situation. But many of them, without knowing it, are actually trying to flee from God. And then we flee into lust. The lust for things. Did you know that they're compulsive eaters, but they're also compulsive shoppers? How many of you shop when you don't really need anything to buy? You just go to buy something. It's a habit with you. You're addicted to it. Now, I'm not talking just about women. I'm talking about men, too. I know women, they seem to be born to shop. So there's a little excuse for them. But you've seen compulsive shoppers just like shoplifters. Billions of dollars were lifted last year, and much of it was lifted by wealthy people and people that didn't need anything. Compulsive to get things. And a great deal of it is fleeing. It's an addiction.